Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
All right, and good morning, everyone. I'm Forecaster John Bordash here with you just after 4 o'clock this morning, continuing to keep an eye on everything. Early this morning, around 1 a.m., we did get a tornado watch for parts of the region. These areas here shown in the shaded in red. If we just turn the current radar off, you can see where that is. That is for Charles County and Arundel, PG locally on up towards the Maryland state line. This did not include Calvert and St. Mary's County, and much of this stayed north of our core coverage zone overnight, which is great news. But we do have this one severe thunderstorm warning here for parts of Prince George's and Anne Arundel counties here. This includes really from about Mitchellville to Annapolis, Edgewater, points north. And it's for this storm here south of Bowie, and we can see it has a pretty decent hook on it, indicating some early signs of rotation. And this storm has been rotating since it was down here in the Charlottesville area, and that was about 3 to 4 hours ago. So we are going to continue to watch this. If we take a look at our base velocity right now, this shows us where we have winds, how strong they are, and in what direction they're moving. Where we have the reds, that would be indicative of wind going away from the radar, where green is indicative of wind going towards the radar. So if we were to just kind of look at this, we generally have winds going like this and winds going like this, and this is right here in the Bowie area. And again, this is with this storm, with this hook, and you can see that little inflow notch that continues to remain with this storm. If we go ahead and let's kind of zoom out, let's take you to more of a regional radar picture here. And if we were to put this radar in loop over the last 12 hours, you will be able to see how this storm, and you'll see it as it renders here, how it tracks. Let's see. You can see it all the way out here at 3 o'clock this morning, moving through West Springfield, moving right to the D.C. metro area. You can see, again, that rotation with that little tracker there, and how that's just continued to stay with the storm as it heads all the way up towards the Annapolis area. So we do have that right now. Outside of that, there isn't much going on. Majority of the rain is to the north right now. And again, this is kind of what we expected. If we come over here, this was the storm timeline graphic we were using yesterday, and I still think this is a good graphic to go by. We're going to see this break in the activity this morning, and actually if we come over here to Futurecast, and this unfortunately was the version of Futurecast that didn't have this city name, so my apologies, but this was from last night, and you can see how our Futurecast did a great job depicting this potential tornado storm, this storm with some potential for rotation. You can see how our Futurecast put a decent storm at 3 o'clock right south of D.C., which is where that storm was. And there you go at 4 o'clock going towards the Annapolis area. So this actually did a really good job showing this potential this morning. Now, as you push forward, you can see we clear out for the rest of the morning. So if you haven't seen rain yet, you probably are going to see some dry time here for an extended period. Probably going to have an easier morning commute south of Annapolis, which is amazing. But then we're going to have to watch the storm potential as we head into this evening, because what you're going to see is that we're going to have several different lines that are going to try to work through. They may start as early as noon today. Our model from last night didn't show that too well, but that potential's there, and that could really linger here. You see one line moves through, another line moves through, additional areas of rain try to move through tomorrow evening and tomorrow afternoon. So we will keep that threat of flash flooding. We will keep that threat of tornadoes as we head throughout the day today. We do have that enhanced risk still of seeing those storms potentially exhibit signs of rotation, and I don't need to go any further than just to show you current radar that we definitely do have this potential here with this little bit of a hook echo that we have had with radar throughout the night tonight. So let's come back over here again. That enhanced risk is for much of the region. There really won't be too much of a discrepancy between, let's say, Waldorf and Leonardtown, but I think everyone needs to be on guard as we move through today. And again, this is what that enhanced risk is talking about, 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts. Several tornadoes could be possible this afternoon, and we're really going to be honing in on that 12 to 8 p.m. time frame. We do still have this extreme risk flood outlook for southern parts of Pennsylvania up to the New York metro area, and a significant risk of seeing flooding for much of our region, elevated risk for far southern communities. The differences here with these categories, they're very nuanced for the general public. It's really just semantics. I don't think you need to worry about whether, like, this is just telling you essentially the heaviest rain will be to the north, but everyone will have a threat of flooding as we have throughout the day today. Many of our models show just about this right now in terms of rainfall totals for today. Upwards of 1 to 3 inches could be possible, I think, for many areas, and that's why that flash flood watch is in effect. Let me bring you back over here to radar, though, and I actually want to, I saw a comment from Lucia about the big booms right now in Bowie, which I would believe if we zoom out, we put radar back in motion. Let's just do it over the last hour here. You can see this storm that we're watching that could maybe try to put down a little bit of a, showing some signs of rotation, also has lots of lightning with it. So Bowie, Odenton, Jessup, good morning. You're likely getting waken up by this storm. This is racing north of Annapolis, so this really won't affect our core coverage zone. This is really going to be an issue for Severna Park, Odenton, Glen Burnie. If you're taking 50 or 97 or even 301 up north this morning, or you're up north coming south right around now, you're going to have to deal with this. But outside of this one storm, there really isn't that much going on. So I think if you're traveling 301 this morning, Route 5, Route 4, I think you're going to be fine this morning. Many of the weather concerns right now are existing to the north, which is something that we were expecting. That's what we talked about yesterday. That we were going to see rain overnight tonight, but then we were going to see a break. And we haven't really even seen that much rain overnight tonight. And southern parts of the area, like Calvert County, St. Mary's, we haven't seen much at all. And actually, if we were to come over here, let me turn off the lightning tracker quick. I do want to come over here to the rain estimator here. Yeah, if I were to change the banner here so you get an idea of what some of these colors are going to be telling you. Let me bring that up. Oh, I mean, areas up north have seen upwards of this 1 to 2, 2 to 3 inch rain from D.C. up to Rockville and to Bowie now, and this will be going into Glen Burnie, Annapolis. And you can really see this track here. This is pretty much with that one storm. That has been the storm to watch. So that's brought some heavy rain, but outside of that, radar hasn't picked up on much of anything in parts of southern parts of our region. But Lucia, I probably wouldn't go to the basement in Bowie. This has already, I mean, let me get the most updated radar here. Let me bring it back over here. This has pretty much already moved past you. Like, if something would have hit, it probably would have already hit, you know. So I think you're fine. We don't have a tornado warning in effect right now, but we are seeing early signs of rotation with this storm. So I would just monitor it if you're in Odenton, Severna Park, Pasadena, on up here towards Greenhaven, Glen Burnie, and just south of the Baltimore metro area. Yeah, so Amy says that she's in Harwood. Non-stop lightning as she looks to the north. And yeah, we turn that lightning tracker back on. This storm alone is producing upwards of 60 strikes of lightning. So this is going to be the one storm we're tracking right now. But that's pretty much it. Thankfully, the overnight, we had the potential for a little bit more than what we saw, but it didn't come to fruition. It's really just kind of been this one storm, and it hasn't been tornado warned since about 1 or 2 a.m., which has actually allowed me to grab about a 3-hour nap, which was much appreciated. As for those of you wondering, yes, I have been able to get some sleep. But we are going to continue to watch this potential. We are going to hope that this potential of maybe the atmosphere not being able to tap into all the twisting and turning of the winds will remain the case for today. But given today's atmospheric profile, we will need to stay aware, because there's a potential that we could be tracking 1 or 2 of these rotating storms at any one given time as we head throughout the day today. So stay weather aware. But I will be here in the Weather Center for you all day, continuing to track this. I will have a little bit more of a formalized update as we head towards about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, when more people are waking up and people want to get the morning forecast and an idea of what to expect. So be on the lookout for that. So I'll probably be talking to you all here in probably the next 3 or 4 hours, unless we get any new warnings. If we do get a tornado warning with this storm, we will come back live here for you. But aside from that, that would be the only reason we would need to come back. So, and I see Lisa is saying on over towards the Severn area, plenty of heavy rain. Yeah, up here in northern parts of Anne Arundel County, you are seeing plenty go on. If I want to come back over here to our sensitive radar, and you can see that little bit of a notch here, not looking as good as it moves through Crofton. And I say not as good, I mean in terms of the storm, it is looking great for us. And that velocity signature, the rotation signature right now is rather broad. We don't have a tight couplet right now. And if you see how this green here is kind of matched on either side by a red, granted you have brighter reds down on the southern side of this. This tells me that this is not a well put together storm. There are opposing wind fields. You don't have one consistent wind direction with this storm, a consistent in and then a consistent out with the storm. So that is some good news for us, not good news for the storm, but that's what we want to see. And then again, this is going to be racing on up towards the north. This storm is moving rather fast. I believe it's moving northeast at 31 miles per hour. So if we were to track that, we take the worst part of the storm and, oh, this worked on the first try. And we take this at 31 miles an hour. We were moving at about 66 degrees. I mean, this is going to be moving into Severna Park by about 4:43, Lakeshore 4:51, then all the way over here on the eastern shore of Rock Hall by 5:17. So I think by about 5 o'clock, this storm's out of here. Now, any interest up here in the Baltimore metro area, you're going to have heavy rain. But over here towards Frederick, the 70-270 split, you are looking at the heavy rain up in here, and we do currently have flood warnings in effect for the D.C. metro area, far northern PG County, and then for the Baltimore metro area and far northern Anne Arundel County. You probably saw those alerts get auto-posted onto our social media feeds, but for a flood warning for PG County, flood warning for Anne Arundel County, but much of this is just for the northern parts of these counties. So down here south, if you're down towards Brandywine or Lothian, you haven't even really seen a drop of rain so far. But we will continue to watch all of this. Again, these are the big headlines. 1 to 4 inches of rain will be possible today, with the potential of a little bit more up to the northwest to I-95. Heaviest rain and the highest tornado threat likely exists this afternoon and evening between about 12 o'clock noon and about 8 o'clock this evening. We could see not just a couple, but several rotating storms move through, so do keep that in mind. But I will continue to keep everything updated here. I'm actually going to get to work on my morning forecast, get some coffee brewing, kind of let that work through. So stay weather aware. Again, if we get any warnings, I'll be back here with you live, but I plan on seeing you all again right around 8 o'clock this morning for a full live formalized update on what you can expect as we head throughout the day going forward. So have a nice and safe one. Know your tornado safety plans today and what you could do if you get caught in a flash flood. Have a nice and safe one, and please keep it tuned here to JB Weather for information to keep you ahead of any storm that fires.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.